Okay, so hi. I'm gonna start. I'm gonna continue rather with this project, the map project, and I know roughly what we're doing because I've drawn it so many times. But I say roughly because there's always changes. We're gonna continue on building a map of Scooter Town. I just want quiet and I want some fun. And I'm still in my jammies. So we're going to start by drawing rather, this little monument that goes in the middle of town. It's a monument to Scooter, who the town is named after, but we're not going to draw the monument today. It's just a little triangle on the map. So there's our little triangle. And then we're going to do Joel's house too. And Joel is the squirrel that lives in a tree. So it's going to be kind of a circle, but it's going to have leaves and lumps and bumps. So let's draw another circle. We want to make sure that everything is roughly the same size as what we've been doing. And then we'll draw Bugsy's house, but we'll just wait a second on that. Let's see, because I took up a lot of space on this one piece of paper. I'm going to grab another piece of scrap paper. Again, I'm not drawing with my fancy paper, we're just using what we have. So we've all got some scrap paper laying around, whether it's old bills or printed material that we don't need anymore. Let's draw another circle for Dixie, because Dixie lives in a tree. This is Joel, and this is the little monument. Oops, I didn't write that well. Monument to Scooter. Joel's house, Dixie's house. Let's start there, then we'll draw Bugsy, but we're going to wait a minute on him. Let's see how far we get right now on these. Okay, so let's pen in, draw your circles and your triangle in pencil. Make them roughly the same, around the same size as the other pieces we've done, like the teacup for Max's baby house, and roughly the same size as Jack's house, which we drew in the last video. I'm going to jump ahead. We're going to draw, ooh, no. Oh, I left the cap off one of my pens. It's still writing. All right, sorry, I'm a little scattered this morning. It's been a rough week. My dog's Bugsy is very, very, very sick. So it's been a rough week. You'll have to excuse me if I kind of bounce around. I'm shaky and I'm not all here because I love my baby. So it was a rough week at work again. So there's our kind of triangle, or more like a pizza slice. And we're going to draw a square in the center. We're right there. And a circle in the center of that square, because that's where the monument to Scooter stands, and he kind of welcomes people around Scooter Town on the monument, or monuments. Okay, let's go ahead and just draw that square. And again, it's not cement, it's just grass. It's mainly grass. So we can draw it as squiggly lines and little dots and dashes, like so, indicating earth and grass. I'm going to draw in the square. And look how quickly I'm drawing it. It's not a perfect square, it's okay. And then the circle, and this might be as shaky as the teacup house, but I'm not going to worry about it today. I got a lot on my mind, so we're just going to do the best we can. Alright, so there's the monument to Scooter, or the little square in town. We're going to draw Joel's house, which sits in a tree. We're going to draw his house first. And Joel's house has many layers to it. It has 3 different floors, like a row house would, where it's thin, and he has 3 different, 3 different floors that he lives in. So it's kind of complex, but we're just going to draw what we would see from the sky, the roof. And the roof, or the entryway, one of the entryways, is a hat. Let me show you the finished hat in one of my drawings. Okay, that's what we're going to do. So we're going to draw an oval, almost like an egg shape. We're going to do 2 lines coming down, like that. We're going to mimic the oval a couple more times. We don't want it too long, because this type of hat isn't really very tall. I can't remember the name of it, but it's a specific type of hat that was very, very popular in the 10s, 20s, and 30s, mainly the 10s and 20s, I think. So if you can see, oh, I made it very tall. I shouldn't have, but it's okay. We're going to go with it for now. So what we've got, or what we're going to have, is this oval on top, the first shape we made, 2 other lines mimicking or paralleling that oval, and that's actually a band of silk or fabric that goes around the hat. And then there's the brim, a wider oval. We're going to take the top of the hat, the very top, and we're going to draw it like it would lift up, like the hatch on a submarine. No. Let me try that again. We're going to lift it up, making 2 lines like the hatch on a submarine. He's got several ways to get in and get out, but we're having the top lift up on this one. Maybe he wants to enjoy a sunny day, so he can lift the top up. Catch the breeze. So why don't we grab our fat marker, and we'll draw the hat first, and then we'll do the tree. So I'm going to start here with the 2 lines, the hatch that comes up. 2 lines, and then kind of curved lines at the end. Then I'm going to draw the top oval. Oops. Again, I'm very shaky today. It's been a tough week. Very tough week. So I'm not going to worry too much about how the lines are drawn. Remember, this is a fun project. All of these are fun projects. We don't have to worry about some version of perfection. Drawing the band on the hat, or someone else's version of perfect. We're just going to be kind to ourselves, just like people are in Scooter Town. We're going to understand that sometimes we have a hard time, a difficult time, and we just have to be kind. You probably can hear you can probably hear my washing machine right now. I'm washing my clothes. So there's the hat. Let's give it some depth by taking our skinny pen, our skinny Sharpie, and we're going to draw some lines like we do in eyes and other things. Oops, that one's really dried out. We're going to draw some lines, just like we do, we've done in other projects. To give the illusion of some dark. Or some shadow. And sometimes I like to take my skinny pen and go over other lines, because I like the way it looks and feels. The skinny lines over the larger lines. Now I think, because of the angle of the hat, we're going to see a reflection of this line, of this oval. At this perspective, we're going to see this oval completed. Not the brim, but it's the inside of the hat. So we're going to draw that line in pencil. See? Then take our fat pen, and we don't have to make it particularly clear. We can draw dots and dashes, and that will work. That'll work well. And maybe we make this inside section just a little bit darker. In other illustrations that we'll be doing, you'll see this is part of his house. But in this particular one, we're just going to leave it like this. I just drew in other lines to make it a little bit darker. Alright, let's get to work on the tree bit. And the tree bit is going to have leaves. And we've drawn leaves enough now where we feel experienced and we feel secure that we can do this. So remember, a leaf is center line, and then two curvy lines. Center line, two curvy lines. He's in a tree, so we're just going to put in some leaves to indicate he's in a tree. Center line, two curvy lines. And you can draw your leaves anywhere you want. I want you to feel confident that you can do this. Because you can. Center line, two curvy lines. Center line, two curvy lines. I think I'll draw a leaf up here. Center line, two curvy lines. Center line, two curvy lines. Center line, two curvy lines. Okay, so I've got some leaves in there. Now I'm going to draw, I think I want to make this tree a little bit smaller than the original pencil lines. I'm going to pull it in just a little bit. You do what you want. This is just what I want to do. Okay? It'll all be okay, either way. And now, I'm going to add another leaf or two. Okay, or three, or four. You just do what you want to do, what you're most comfortable with. I just drew some more leaves. But next, I want to draw kind of the outline of the tree. We're looking down at an odd angle, but it's still going to be what we've been doing. Squiggly lines, because there's all kinds of leaves in there. There's all kinds of growth in different sizes. So squiggly lines, just like our bushes. I want some of the areas to be a little bit darker, a little bit fatter, so it makes more sense. It has depth. And now, just like on our bushes, we're going to break this into sections, but I think we're just going to take our skinny pen and draw sections like we have. Okay. Doing our squiggly lines again, just like that. Yeah, I think that's enough. I've drawn a few squiggly lines in to give the tree sections. I'm going to do the lines. They can point in different directions. They don't have to go in one. We want to make sure, drawing them in, we want to make sure that we really give this some rhythm with our lines. So I'm drawing them in all different directions, so it has flow and rhythm. What I'm doing in these sections we just made is kind of making a border, so I'm reminded to change direction of my lines and give each section a different feel. Okay. I'm going to continue on. Dooby-doo. Durba-durba-dur, as Bugsy would say. Okay. Here we go. I think I'm going to draw squiggly lines around the outside and the inside and the outside using my skinny pen, just like we do on the bushes. Not sure I like what I've done here too much, but we're just going to keep going. And now I want to give the band some depth. So I'm going to add some lines coming around, but not a lot. Just like that. Now actually this hat would have weave. It would have all kinds of weave in it because it's made of straw. But I don't want to worry about it. That's just getting into too much detail for me today. So we've got, and we want to add grass to the monument. Island, that's what they call it, pardon me. Island and squiggly lines. You don't have to add them if you like the way it looks. I'm just going to add them. And I think I'm going to give that center circle some lines as well. Again, we're not drawing the monument to Bugsy. The lines will just help differentiate it from the all-white background. You don't have to. You can leave it blank like that. You can leave it blank like it was and color it in. But so now we've got little bits of grass. We've got dark and light. Let's move on to Dixie's house. We're doing pretty well. Dixie's house is a little complicated. Let me show you the finished project there. That's Dixie's house. That's going to take us a little bit more time, but we'll get through it. So Dixie actually has a house that has two sections, and then it has a section that's connecting the two. So we've got 1, 2, 3 roofs, and it's sitting on a platform, a wooden platform. We're going to do this. It's complicated, but we'll do it. So we're going to draw a rectangle, but the rectangle is at an angle because of perspective. It's how we're looking at it from the sky, from an angle in the sky. So we're going to take the rectangle, and normally the lines would be up this way, but we're going to tilt them like that. And that tells us that we're looking at it at a different direction. We're looking at it from this direction, I believe. Wait a minute. Let's draw, I also drew the base for the, I drew a second set of lines, pardon me, a second set of lines for the base of the platform that the house will be sitting on. So just an extra set of lines that mimic the first lines we made. Now we're going to mimic these lines. Draw one about there, maybe a little bit closer to the edge, whatever you want to do. And we're going to draw another line that mimics those two lines. And another line, oops, sorry. This is for the foundation of the house. I think I'm going to draw that a little bit closer to the edge. See how I'm fixing? Don't worry about getting it right the first time. I just fix it till it feels right. So that's what you should have now. Is a rectangle within a rectangle at a funny angle, and then the base of the platform. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Ready? And this is where my training in drafting, I took drafting when I was in high school, and that's where I learned to do this. We're going to draw 3 lines going up, just like that, and they should be, oh, that one's not, but they should parallel the edge of the piece of paper. They should be heading in the same direction as the edge of the piece of paper, going straight up. So we've got 1, 2, 3 lines. We're going to draw a couple more because we got to draw the 2 sections of the house. So we're just going to continue to mimic the edge of the piece of paper. 1, 2, there's 1 section of the house, 3, 4, another section of the house, and then the side of this section of the house. Okay. We're going to draw another line paralleling these on the inside, because this is the connector between the 2 sections of the house. This is the hallway. We're going to draw another line connecting this section of the house to the hallway, right there. See? Goes up. It's mimicking that line. It's mimicking that line, that line, that line, and that line. Let's get rid of some of this, because we don't need actually the back platform. So I erased those 2 lines. It's going to get confusing. And now we're going to do the roof. Oh, wait a minute, sorry. We need this other line where the hallway and this section of the house connect. All right, now this might seem confusing, but we'll get through it. We're going to draw 2 more lines right in the section, right in the middle of this section of the house. We're going to draw a line going up, splitting it into 2. Same thing here, splitting it into two. And this is how we're going to determine the roof, where the point of the roof is. Okay. And I like to draw, no, let's do, oh, I jumped ahead. Pardon me. I jumped ahead on the roof. We're not going to see any of that back, so I'm just erasing it. Bar, bar, bar. Erasing, erasing. Okay. So that's what you should have. You can stop the video and draw that while I move ahead, okay? We're going to draw another line here, and this is going to help us to determine where the roof comes down, where it meets the house. We want to know how high the roof is. So we've got this line here for the base of the roof, and then here for the height. Just trust me, this is going to work. This is going to work. Look at the spacing, look at the lines. You got this. I know this is complicated, but we can do it. So I'm going to take, there's the center, there's the center, there's the center. And that's where the peak of our roof is going to be. So we're going to draw two lines, a little triangle coming down to meet. There's the peak. We're going to draw two little lines meeting up with this little intersection and this little intersection. Okay? Going down, going down. We're going to do the same thing over here. Coming down, coming down. Look at that. They're not perfect. That my middle line is a little off, but it's okay. So meeting it up here at the peak that I decided on, that you decided on, and then coming down to here. Okay. We're going to draw a little line here. We're bringing the roof down a little bit, so that it covers this portion of the house. When it rains, we want the rain to come down the roof and come away from this wall. The same over here and over here and over here. So we're bringing it down over this section of our squares in our house. And we're drawing, sorry, when we bring it down a little bit lower than this point, a little bit lower, and then we connect the two. So it's connecting to our hallway and the roof on the hallway. Now, we're going to make two more lines, again mimicking here, here, here. And this is the top of our roof. Oops. It's a little off. But it's okay. Just keep telling yourself that. It's okay. So I've got two lines that are mimicking these lines, this line, 1, 2 lines, mimicking that line. So they're at an angle. You've got this. You hear me? Now we're going to draw the hallway's roof. And we want it a little bit lower. A little bit lower than the peaks on that roof. So I'm drawing it there. There's the peaks of the roof. This is the hallway roof. Drawing it a little bit lower. Now, let's see. Let's draw the overhang, or the lower part of the roof, coming down. Let's get rid of that line. It's a little much. There's the overhang for the roof. So we're going to draw this line coming up, mimicking this line. Okay? Then the length of the house. Let's see. So this is to determine the length of the house, but we've already got the back of this section. So the house is going to come down, the roof is going to come down a little bit, all connecting. You can do this. If I can do it, you can do it. When we draw a second line, I gotta recalibrate the other roof. It doesn't feel right. Sorry, that was kind of mean. If I can do it, you can do it. It's hard when you haven't done things before. So you just do the best you can. Okay? So we're going to do the same thing here that we did over here. 2 lines coming down for the roof, 2 lines coming down for the roof. This is connecting to the hallway, but we've got the back roof, just like here, the back of the house, back of the roof. Now this line is a little bit more complicated. Connecting where we've connected the hallway, there's a line that will come down here. Make sure I'm doing it right. Yeah. There's a line that will come down here at a really, really funny angle. So it's not like these lines that we've been mimicking and paralleling. It's at a slightly different angle. We're taking the top and connecting it to the base of both roofs. So see this? We're going to turn it. This. We're going to turn it. Okay, I'm going to continue moving along because otherwise this will turn into a 3-hour project. Alright, we've got to do the inside, the underneath of the roof, so let's add a second line right there and a second line right there. And that'll be the underside. Dixie's house is the most complicated, I think. There's a lot of drawing, a lot of figuring out angles, but we got this. That's a little low. You see how I'm erasing and fixing? It's because it's not perfect the first time, and as we know, that's okay. Now I'm adding oval windows under the eaves. Oval windows under the eaves of the roof. Okay. Then we're going to put in big picture windows. And those are just going to be other rectangles. Mimicking, paralleling lines that we've already drawn. See? Picture windows. See how they mimic and parallel the other lines we've already drawn? That's all you gotta do. Just breathe. It's okay. Just breathe. I'm gonna move ahead. We have to draw two other lines at the top, or 3 other lines at the pitch of the roof, the top of the roof, because this is going to be protected by metal or another type of material. When it rains, when it snows, if it snows, this has to be protected so it doesn't rot. So we're putting a metal covering over the top. Let's draw the chimney too. So the chimney, we're only going to draw one chimney, and it's coming out of this section of the house. And what we're going to do is 2 lines that parallel, 3 lines, pardon me, 3 lines. 3 lines here, and they're the same direction as the side of the paper. This side of the chimney would come down because it's sitting right in the roof. So we're going to bring it down, bring it down. You don't have to draw a chimney. I know we've drawn a lot. So you do what you want. And now we connected those lines with another square, but it's at a funny angle. Everything's at a funny angle. I'm going to erase those lines in the roof because we don't need them. But I am going to take the chimney and do that. You see? Line down, line down. So it's kind of paralleling the eave. That little line there, that little line there. And the chimney has a top because we can't have rain coming down it. But instead of doing something complicated, I'm just going to draw a circle at the top. It's fun. I like circles. So look at what we did. If you have any questions, you can always write in the comment section or email me at becklane42, numbers 42, at gmail.com. Okay? Let's grab our big fat pen, doobie-doo, and start drawing it in. I'm going to start with the chimney. Again, the lines don't have to be solid. They can be dots and dashes. I'm going to draw the circle at the top, which we know I'm having trouble with this week. Too much stress. Too much stress. So it's making it hard to draw. I'm drawing the metal covering. It's going to protect Dixie's roof. Like that. Now I'm going to come down. Oh, I forgot. We have to draw more lines coming down Dixie's roof because this is all shingles. So just like we did on, what did we do it on? What did we do it on? We did it on another house. I know we drew Dixie's house before. Oh, on Max's childhood house, or the house he spent his baby years in. We drew shingles there. It's the same thing, just lines coming down. Let's make them even though. Let's make sure everything's even. So, one set of shingles, one set of shingles, two set of shingles, three set of shingles. 1, 2, 3. So I drew in 3 lines. You see? It'll be more clear in a sec. I'm going to draw the top of Dixie's roof. And we didn't do a chimney on this section. Now I'm going to go down and do the shingles. The sections for the shingles, I mean. Just drawing them in. And the bottom of the roof. I'm going to draw, oops, let me hold it up, pardon me. Just like that. I'm going to draw the outside of this side of the roof and this side of the roof, and these are going to be lumpy bumpies. Not quite like leaves, but lumpy bumpies. Because of the shingles. Okay, not perfect lines, but a little bumpy. I'm going to draw the underside. Whoops. Underside, the inside of the eave, the inside of the eave, I'm going to draw the ovals, the oval windows. I'm going to draw the outside of the house, one wall, two walls, one wall, two walls. The back of the house, and then the base. The base. The base of the front of the house, the base of the front of the house, the base of the hallway, the base of the roof of the hallway. I know I'm moving fast because we're running out of time. I'm going to draw the top of the roof of the hallway, the little piece of metal that would be on top of that roof. And then we need lines coming down in that hallway roof. I'm just going to draw two lines there for the shingles. I grew up in a house with tar shingles, so they kind of look like that. Okay? Oops, I forgot a line. Now I'm going to do lines at a little bit of an angle. Coming out a little bit for the shingles, because they're going to bend out just a tad. And for here I'm going to do the same thing. They're going to curl up and come out just a little bit. And then a line for the underside of the roof. Okay, just like that. And I know this one came out bigger than that one. I'm not going to worry about it. Now let's get our windows. Doink to doink. Line, line, lines, dots and dashes. Boink, boink, boink. Boink, boink, boink. We got this. Got the windows. Okay, now we're going to do some more work on the base. The base is just... Oh, we're going to get rid of this line. We don't need this. Ooh, ooh. Have to draw in where the house and the hallway meet. That little line right there, where the house and the hallway meet. All right. Let's get rid of some of this mess in here. Real quick. Okay. Now the base that all this is sitting on, that our constructed house is sitting on, is made of planks of wood. Like that. Like a deck. So we're going to draw those planks of wood. We're going to draw lines indicating planks of wood. And they would mimic this line, this line, this line. The front of them, sorry, never mind. Yeah, the front of them will mimic, no, where am I going? Somebody keep me sorted here because I keep getting unsorted. The direction of our planks are going to mimic this line and this line. This line and this line. So we're going to go line, 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 and try and make them as even as possible. Just do your best. That's all we can do. You don't have to be perfectly even. This is an imaginary house. We can just do the best we can. Okay, so as you can see, I've drawn my lines for planks of wood coming across. Now we're going to draw lines coming down, and these are again going to parallel the edge of the paper. Watch. So we're connecting this top line and this bottom line with lines that mimic parallel the edge of the paper, the direction of the paper, because this is going to make it look like boards. Got it? So we're looking down at the roof and the house, and then these planks of wood, we're looking down at them. We're looking at them at an angle. See? All right, grab your pen. Doobie doobie doo. And draw your planks of wood. We're going to draw them in like that. Dots, dashes, squares, rectangles. And we got this. After this, I have to shower and take Bugsy for a walk. My little pooper was very, very sick. I think maybe later today I'll take him for a scooter ride if he's feeling well enough. Yeah, this is not coming out perfectly. Again, what do I always say? We're not going to worry about it. We're just going to do the best we can today. Maybe tomorrow will be better. But for today, we're going to do our best. Okay? So I drew in the planks of wood, and we are running out of time, so we may have to finish this up in another video. And then we can, in the next video, we can do Bugsy's house too. These are all going to be circles, the roof. So I'm going to get you started on that. The tar that we had at our house was over 125 years old, the tar roof. And it had little pebbles in it. And it felt and looked like little circles. So I love that texture. So that's how I draw them. Look at, like little bubbles. All different sizes, different shapes. We're going to go down and do circles here. I'm just going to do indications here. All throughout here, all throughout this level, and this level. I'm just going to get you started. You finish up, because I want to see if we can get, yeah, we've got enough time to start the tree part. Or maybe, never mind, let's just continue. Let's draw bubbles together. We'll worry about the tree part next time. Let's do that. Let's finish what we started first. One thing at a time. And then we don't leave anything undone. So circles, circles, circles. There's our tar roof. Ready? Let's do it again here. We're going to leave the metal alone. We're not going to draw circles on it, because that's protecting Dixie's roof. It's protecting all the work they did putting on the shingles. Circles, circles, circles. All different sizes, all different shapes. We just draw them quickly. You don't have to think about it. This is a meditation in drawing. And it'll all be okay. Okay? Now we're going to do the roof connecting the two houses over the hallway. And I have a floor plan for Dixie's house that we're going to work on in another video. Everybody's got a floor plan. So all the tar is done. Has all those bubbles in it. But we're going to draw a little bit further and give this a little bit more depth. I just drew a skinny line, a skinny line right there. That's the underside of the roof. And now I'm going to add lines for shading. You'll see. And you got this. Okay? A little messy, but it's okay. So there's our second line right there. There's our second line right there. That's the underside of the roof. And then little lines for shading. Okay. And we're going to add a couple more lines because there's boards on the corners, on the corner of the houses. So I'm going to draw a parallel line there, parallel line there. That's the framing of the house. Another line right there. There's boards on the corners. Because he lives in a wood house. So that's the frame. We've got the thick line there, thin line on the inside. That's part of the board. Kind of messed that one up, but thin line there, thick line. We're just paralleling our thick lines on the outside with thin lines to indicate board. I think I want to give the window some depth and interest, so I'm adding like shading on the windows. I haven't decided on these lower windows yet, so I'm going to leave it alone for now, and we'll continue in another video. Okay, we'll do the tree and everything else, but look at what we did. We drew Joel's house. We drew a center of town, a little square, well, it's not a square, but yeah, a thing, an island for the center of town, and we'll cut all this out later. We drew Dixie's house, and in the next video we'll draw the tree, just like Joel's, the tree that Dixie sits on, okay? Not too shabby there, guys. Good job. If you have any, like I said, if you have any questions, you can write it in the comment section, or you can email me, and I am more than happy to help, because I know this one was confusing. But email me at, wait a minute, BeckLane42 at gmail.com. Okay? BeckLane42 at gmail.com. If you have any questions, I'm really more than happy to help. I've been mentoring people for a long time. So just let me know. Please send pictures of what you've been doing. Okay? All right, I'll talk to you soon. Ciao.